All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to StaleMates. We've been taking a little bit of a break. The past few months, we've been planning the Street League stuff, and now we are getting back into the podcast game, which is what we originally planned to do with this whole StaleMates venture. So, took a little detour doing the two events. We never really recapped it, but everything was successful.
Mm-hmm.
I thought. But everything was good, and the matches were good. Main event was amazing. People showed out again. It was a bigger venue, so it felt a little bit more roomy, but we did probably about the same amount of tickets. We did a little bit more VIP tables, and we did more like mat side seats.
Right.
The venue was not as like on top of each other as the other venue was, but it was nicer to get a little bit more breathing room. There wasn't people running in front of the cameras and stuff like that, but
it was kind of give and take. The last one like had that really intimate, intense atmosphere, but this one, everyone is a little bit more comfy, could kind of spread out and have room for their own space, which I think was nice in a different way too.
Yeah, it was just nice to have like a little bit more of like a professional. It felt like a little bit more professional. I wouldn't say it's lost its edge by any means, because the main event, I will say this, I think the wrestling this time was like a lot more like competitive. The matches I think were a little bit tighter than the other ones were.
Yeah.
More pins, a little bit more action, stuff like that. But for the most part, for the most part, it was a success, and we are going to keep it rolling. We're obviously going to get back to the podcast stuff throughout the season, but as far as the next few months go, we're going to get back to this.
Yeah.
And we got some drama to break down today. Tyler's going to read off some of the stuff whenever we get to them. But we're just kind of going to break down what is out there in the wrestling world in terms of the drama and stuff that's going on right now. And trust me when I say this, there isn't a shortage of that right now. First, let's thank Barbarian Apparel for everything that they do. The number one apparel business, the number one wrestling apparel in the game. Josh and company, they just hired our boy Drew Blogs. Yep. Can you do a clap? Can you remember off the top of your head?
There you go, Drew.
There you go. That's for Drew. Hopefully we had that set up.
Yeah, we got that.
All right. So shout out to Barbarian Apparel. Also shout out to Above and Beyond Wash and Seal. Trent actually right now is hooking me up with my second floor with him. He's doing my barbershop. Thank you. And and he's gonna do that. It's gonna look good. Trent's a big Hawkeye wrestling fan, so wrestling people support wrestling people. If you need a brand new floor for your garage, your gym, your house, shop, whatever, your wrestling room, Trent will hook you up. Above and Beyond Wash Seal, link down below. And lastly, Spider Matte Tape. I didn't bring it in here because it's in my garage because we used it for StaleMates Street League 2.
Yep.
It is the official sponsor of StaleMates Street League, the official matte tape of StaleMates. If you're a StaleMates fan, it should be your official matte tape for this upcoming season. So scroll down, click the link, Spider Matte Tape. When I tell you this stuff is good, it's freaking good. It's fresh. It's not sitting in a warehouse somewhere, just, getting unsticky. It's sticky right out the box. It's fresh. That everybody loves that smell.
We didn't start the sponsorship with them too long before Street League 2, and they had some roles for us immediately.
A fresh case.
Yes.
So go check them out. All right, Tyler, what do we have first?
First on our list, we have over this past weekend, Desanto got into a little bit of hot water, it sounds like, at the Luther Open.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be wrestling season without a little De Santo. What would be the word? Rendezvous, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know if antics is the word or what.
DeSantics.
Like DeSantics.
Huh?
Yes.
Clap, maybe. Thank you. So Austin De Santo got into it a little bit. It was a little bit of a Iowa on Iowa crime. De Santo and company, the Iowa Hawkeyes, were at the Luther Open. A lot of people know that already. And because the field wasn't as stacked as Iowa's level of competition is, I think it's fair to say that we saw a lot of Iowa versus Iowa in the finals. And there was all kinds of reports going out. One thing got sent to me and another thing gets sent to me. And one thing that I noticed was all of these people that reached out to me about this thing, a lot of the stories were similar, but then there was also some very crazy differences. Okay. So what I want to do today is I want to break down what we actually know for a fact and then what we kind of know, and then what is just like up to whatever you guys want to believe. And I'm not telling you guys what to believe. I'm not telling you guys what I'm saying is true or not. What I'm telling you is what is a fact and what isn't, and what we don't know, and then whatever you guys want to believe. I'm not going to get too into like my opinion on the matter, but I'm just going to break down exactly what was, you know, let's just get into it. Like what exactly happened. So we do know this. This is a fact. Austin De Santo wrestled Colin Shriver in the finals of the Luther Open. That's a fact. We can look that up.
Yes.
What's also a fact is De Santo won. I think it was 8-4. You know, competitive match. Shriver's was a big recruit out of high school from Mason City, and in the state of Iowa. And he's 133 pounds, and we know it was pretty much De Santo, but Shriver kept it close, especially because De Santo, he teched pretty much everybody else in that bracket, I think.
Yeah.
We can also look that up. That's also facts. So we do know that.
Yeah.
And then this is where things get a little bit hairy, right? So he wins, and apparently during the match, De Santo is looking up into the crowd, and he sees what is reported as Shriver's family cheering for their son. Now, this is where it gets a little bit hairy. I've heard it was Colin's grandparents, and I've heard it was Colin's parents. But regardless, I don't think it matters, right? It's Shriver's family. So they're going to be cheering for their guy, right? Now, what we don't know is did De Santo know that was their family or not? We don't know that. But I don't think that really matters too much, right?
Right.
You know, he knew that they are Iowa fans. And this is kind of where things get weird. So one thing that was told to me is he went up there, De Santo went up there to Shriver's family, said, "I'm going to effing kill you."
Yeah.
If
not now, later.
Just like some wild stuff.
Yeah.
This is like what somebody told me. Again, I'm not saying this is true. I'm just breaking down the different stories, and then we'll talk about everything else, right? So he says, "I'm going to effing kill you." And then, you know, Terry Brands goes up there, grabs him by the neck, rips him out of there, takes him out of there. And that was one version of the story. That is probably like the most crazy version of the story, the wildest version of that story.
Right.
The other version of the story that I heard from, and I will say this, all these versions of the story, for the most part, at least two of them are like from very credible people, but they vary a little bit. So that's why things get kind of weird. The other version of the story was De Santo did come off the mat a little heated. He did have some words to say to the Iowa section, and something along the lines of like, "How are you going to cheer against a teammate?" And then Brands did grab him and pulled him out of there. So that's probably like the mildest version of the story. And of course, you guys know how the game of telephone works. Somebody says something, and then what happens? One
little thing changes at a time, and then eventually, through enough people, you have a whole different story.
Correct.
Yeah.
So these things kind of, you got to kind of just go with your gut on what you think happened. But we do know for one thing, we do know De Santo and Shriver wrestled. We do know that De Santo, when he came off the mat, he did not like what was happening in the Iowa section. He felt like he was being cheered against.
Yes.
We do know that, I believe it was Terry Brands. We do know that he, you know, escorted him out of there.
Right.
Those three things we do know. We don't know. I think one big misconception is the grabbing of the neck by Terry Brands.
Yeah.
Because there's two different things. And somebody pointed this out on Twitter, was if somebody grabs you by the neck like this, especially a coach athlete, that's definitely like not great.
Bad. Yeah. That'd be bad on their side as well.
Yep. What we also realize is the back of the neck is also something, and I think we've seen multiple times where, you know, guys, you know, coaches like grabbed you, you know, kind of like in that area back there and just said, "Hey, come on, get out of there," type of thing.
Yeah.
You know, especially after he
guiding him to where he needs to be, not strangling,
not WWE grabbing him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like, we do know that De Santo said something to the crowd.
Yeah.
But we don't know if he went up there and cussed them out and said, "I'm going to kill you," and this and that. We don't know that.
Right.
And so far, there's no evidence of what he said. There is some evidence that he did go up there, And then we do know that Brands had some sort of words with him and pulled him out of there. And I did hear that Brands told him, you need to go back and apologize, in which he did, apparently.
Yeah. I heard they sorted it out after, but you still don't know what was said before.
Correct. So now we're going to get into kind of the facts a little bit. So Tyler, can you pull up the clip? Pat Minio put out this tweet of a clip of before you play that real quick, let me set it up. He put out a tweet of a clip of a different mat. So I think it was the mat across from the Shriver De Santo mat. And he showed, you actually can't see it. You can't see De Santo going up there. It's a 44-second clip. And all you can kind of hear is the table workers at this other mat kind of commentating on what they're watching happen. Yeah. But again, you can't see what happened. So you can't actually see De Santo going up there and saying stuff.
You can just see him run off the mat.
You can't hear what De Santo said. You can't see Terry Brands or whatever Brands' brother it was grab him. And you can't hear what Brands is. All you can hear is the table workers, and you got to listen closely. So Tyler, go ahead and play the clip.
So then him and Colin shake hands, and you can see him run off way faster than Colin. And then here's where you want to listen.
Who did he wrestle, you know? Oh, there were two Those were both Iowa guys.
I know, but like someone, he's freaking out. Oh, Brain just grabbed him by the neck, bro.
There was.
He's grabbed him by the neck. So he's staring at someone in the crowd.
Probably like
Pause it. Okay, my feed's just a little bit behind. But if you know, is that pause on the video or on me?
It's on. The camera's on you.
Okay,
this is paused.
go back to that. Now, if you look at all those people lined up in the back, they're all facing
they're
this
all
scuffle.
looking at something.
So clearly something happened to an extent of there was some sort of like debacle going on.
Yeah.
Okay, you can hit play again.
Yeah.
Is that it?
It's over. Yep.
That's it. And you guys can go find that on Twitter if you want to watch that again and analyze it yourself. But you heard him say there where he said, he said something along the lines of like, that's Iowa versus Iowa. He something about him going in the crowd and then Brands grabbing him by the neck. Again, we don't know if it's the front of the neck or the back of the neck. Those to me are two wildly different things.
Yeah. And to me from the video, that's what made me realize people are talking about like from the back of the neck grabbing them instead of like everything I heard before that sounded like he was like having to
choke slamming them type deal, which I don't think that happened, right? And again, I don't want to say that, like I told you guys, I didn't want to say what I thought happened, but I will say this: I think the truth is somewhere in the middle of the mildest version of this story and then the wildest version of the story. One thing that I thought should be acknowledged is, it's never been like public what goes on with De Santo. I think we've all heard things that have gone on. So like for me, I've always gave De Santo like a
benefit of the doubt.
The benefit of the doubt in terms of stuff. I think there's things going on that I don't really want to talk about that he probably deals with where other people don't deal with it. Do I think he should be suspended? I'm not really in like the suspended crowd. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter say that they think that he should be suspended. I'm not really in the suspended crowd. Yeah. Did he get talked to by the Brands brothers? There was somebody that said that this person was there. Again, there's a lot of he said, she said, right? So we do know a little bit about what happened. There's proof of that, but we don't know to extent. So that's why I'm like, do we suspend him because what if he didn't say all those nasty things? And we can't really prove that so far, right? We can't prove what he said. He could have just said like, come on, why are you cheering against me?
Oh, yeah.
Is that a suspenseful act? I don't think so.
No. But it's still like concerning though when the last time he did great all last season, and then just at the very end after he had already placed third, there was like hearsay about why he wasn't in the parade, and it was like the exact same thing about telling someone they're going to kill him. And so then it's really concerning when the very first tournament of the next season, there's hearsay about him possibly saying that to somebody else again.
Right. But again, that one, like, we never, it's the
You
same
don't
sort of
know.
thing.
Uh-huh.
There is a video of him walking by NCAA official and like saying something, and that official like gave him like the nastiest look. So from watching that, you could think he said that. But
Yeah.
again, we don't know exactly if he said those words.
Yeah. And that one was never really cleared up at all either. So it's just, I feel like it's taken care of behind closed doors for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. You guys can kind of gather what you've heard from us or what you've seen and kind of make your own conclusions. I really hope that he didn't say those nasty things.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But this is also like, I wish it wasn't that extreme, but this is like the kind of De Santo energy that made me a fan of him originally.
Right. So it's like the same thing with like when Downey didn't show up for our match, right? It's like we can't really be upset because it's something that we knew was like a possibility. And like I was scrolling through the Iowa Hawkeye Report, their message boards, and like they were just so upset that people are saying that this happened. They were saying like De Santo's family should sue so-and-so for like defamation of character. And I want to be like, I didn't comment or anything, but I wanted to be like, this isn't like the thing that would like defame his character. Like we all like that. Like if you're an Iowa Hawkeye fan, like you got to know when De Santo came to you, because he had his things at Drexel and, you know, before this at Iowa, that were like, when he comes, you got to be like, okay, well, we're going to have to defend him when stuff comes, right? Like we're going to have to deal with people coming onto our message boards and saying De Santo's this and that. Like you can't get upset because it's been known for a long time that De Santo has these like little outbreaks.
I was kind of starting to miss the old De Santo last season, though. They did a really good job with him last season.
They did, yeah. They did.
Yeah.
And I think they're, you know, I don't think this is like any sort, like somebody asked me if he's going to transfer. He's not going to transfer.
No.
Like, I just think it was an unfortunate thing. And maybe this is, you know, maybe it's better that happens now. And then, you know, maybe this is the height of his antic for the year. Cause there's always like one per year, I feel like. Yeah. And then from now on, he's going to
de-escalating. Yeah. Hopefully.
His merch was fire.
I didn't see that, but people were saying like he had like Terminator merch.
Dude.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
People were saying like not the best choice to do the Terminator merch after threatening to kill someone.
Did they say that?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Let me see if I can find it really quick. Or maybe you can pull it up on hold on, let me see if I can do this. Yeah, it was like there's a kid that went to Iowa, or he's like an Iowa wrestling fan that if you go to Instagram and type in De Santo 133. Okay. And you can see it. But there's a kid that went to Iowa who's like a graphic designer, and he makes fire merch. And I was actually wanting him to do like our like when we were going through like our new logo and stuff. And I sent you his stuff before. I don't know if he did it or not, but it looks exactly like how he does stuff.
Yeah, I know.
You see it? Do you see it yet?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that is tight.
Fire.
Yeah.
By far the best merch out of everybody else.
Yeah, I would wear that tee.
I know.
Yeah.
It sucks because I'm not an Iowa fan. I feel like I've been pretty pro De Santo though. I feel like it's been on record.
Here, I'll pull it up for the people. There's that guy right there.
It's pretty sweet.
Yep.
All right, let's move on here. Spencer Lee versus Killian Cardinale. That was something that kind of got rehashed because of us. So, you know, I'm driving to Wisconsin. I was in Wisconsin over the weekend, and I was trying to find, you know, just like tweeting, and I was like trying to find stuff to do. So I put out a tweet, something along the lines of, well, let me just read it exactly. I didn't tweet too often. So let me scroll down. So I tweeted about like, this is this year's category, so please submit your nominees for the 2021 StaleMates Awards, which is coming up next month.
Yes.
One of those categories is Beef of the Year, and the GOAT follower, who, holy crap, ratioed the hell out of us on this. We have he has 108 likes. We had 55. Shout out to the GOAT follower. But he pulled up a clip from Echemendia where Spencer Lee was on there, and Tyler, is it a long clip? It's 33 seconds. Can you go ahead and pull it up and go ahead and hit play?
I was like, you're being majored by long. I had one kid, and in the national tournament. He took me down twice in like the last period. And right in the middle, he called me for stalling like this. And I looked at the scoreboard, and it was like 15-4, and I was like, what do you call me stalling for?
Right.
I was like, you don't even know that I'm like 20%. I was like, and you're getting majored by me. Like, I could have teched you if I got that last thing down. And I'm at 25% max,
Yeah.
And so I was laughing. I'm like, have fun in losers bracket, man.
I don't
All right,
remember
that's
exactly who it was, but I vaguely.
So he doesn't say his name, but the goat follower apparently did his research, and then Killian actually responds. Can you pull that up too?
Yep, I got it right here.
It's a quote retweet. So go ahead and read what he read there.
He quoted, "Excuses are for wussies." And then, "Hold on, let me just make an excuse as to why I didn't beat my opponents more. Then congratulate me after I place."
What do you think? What do you think of that response?
I don't know. I feel like when he's down 15-5, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. What was the score? Was it 15-5 to Smith set?
That's what I saw people saying in the comments. I mean, I didn't look into it myself, but
I do like that. I do like the Killian being like.
oh, I like that part. Yeah,
I do kind of like him being like, "Why didn't you beat me by more?" That's kind of like a little brother thing to be like, could beat me by 15. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You could have
yeah.
teched me. You could have pinned me.
Who's he wrestle? WVU. Okay.
Yeah, he's for West Virginia.
Okay.
He's an All-American. And then he's like, yeah, and congratulate me after I place. I don't know. There's really not a lot to that, I guess. I just felt like we should add that in there.
From the rafters. Yeah.
I don't know if West Virginia and Iowa wrestle each other this year, but now we have something to look forward to a little bit.
Yeah. And there's always a lot of people who go to protect Spencer, so that tweet just attracted a lot of heat.
Yeah, anytime a Hawkeye, I feel like this is the Hawkeye Hour show, but anytime an Iowa guy is going to be like involved in the drama, people are going to see it. Like this Friday, we're hoping to see Pat Glory and Spencer Lee.
Yeah.
At Iowa, a lot of people are like, "What's going to happen? Is he going to duck him again?" Because he ducked him, even though Spencer's beaten him.
Yeah.
But people may or may not remember that Pat had a lot of words to say about Spencer Lee last year.
Yeah, what was that one? That was like in the spring, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was just. I mean, I kind of get it. Pat was kind of like upset that. I think what happened was it was like leading up into, it was like the week of nationals, and I think Pat was just at home because he was with Princeton, right? They didn't wrestle last year, and he just was like, "Man, this sucks. Like this bracket's so weak."
Yeah.
That no one, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
He said something like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's all these people always beefing with Spencer, but no one's really got close to him.
I hope Pat.
It's entertaining though.
I hope he wrestles Spencer this Friday. That'd be good. All right. Suriano sweepstakes continue. I was told he was going to make the decision by today, which is November 15th. That hasn't happened. Did you got the Willie tweet?
Yeah, I do. He had said, "Bob Suriano just sent me hieroglyphs assembling a team to decipher." And it's not there anymore, but he had showed what the text said, and it really just didn't give him any information at all as to where he was going, but it made it sound like he had decided.
He pulled up the screenshot too, right? And he said, "Don't give it to the piles or whatever, and give it to me instead."
Like something about I don't want to misquote it, but it was something about like you can keep pussies like pile on weight, but not me, or something like that. Yeah. I truly think that Nick has like misguided everybody on where he's going to go. And he's just going to break it himself. And I think the school will probably find out just as fast as we do. Yeah, you're probably right. Do you think this is, I still want to know what the world posts were about.
I don't know. I don't think he knew at the time.
Yeah.
I think maybe
he just likes the mystique.
They were fire though.
Yeah.
They were good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Go ahead and read the next topic.
So next we got PD3 singlet spotting at a D3 Open tournament this past weekend. It started getting some traction on social media.
So for those of you who don't know, Pat was selling some of his stuff recently, and he sold a bunch of his singlets from various things, which makes me sad. As much as you want to hate on the guy and stuff, I don't know what it is about me. I just feel like I just feel sad seeing it all. But to see it. I don't know who this kid is, but it's kind of funny.
Here, I got it pulled up here. This is actually Pat's tweet where he quoted it. It said, it was originally from Lepresi, and then Pat quoted it and said, "Not what I had anticipated when I was doing these auctions."
Which is kind of like,
yeah.
I don't know what part do you think that he wasn't anticipating? Like,
I don't know. I don't know if he's talking about it popping up at a D3 Open or the person wearing it. Exactly.
I mean, who did he think was going to?
Anybody's going to buy it.
Did he think like Nate Jackson was going to buy it and wear the Downey singlet?
Owed to Pat Downey at the U.S. Open.
Who did he think was going to buy it?
I don't know, but he might be kind of playing into a joke because then he puts hashtag best offer, and so he's like, maybe that's what's going to happen.
I don't know. I would like to find out how that kid did.
Yeah,
maybe he got the Pat Mojo going on and he turned it up.
I don't know. His dad had responded to it and said like, "I can't even look at this." Or something
Who
like
said that?
PD3 senior. Here, it's right here. I'll show the people. I can't even look at that.
Oh God, why?
I don't know. See, that's why I wasn't wondering if him and PD3 were on the same page on like that person shouldn't be wearing the singlet probably.
Dang.
But it's like,
but you also shouldn't like dog the guy who paid for your singlet.
Right, he's probably a huge PD3 fan.
I know. I mean, he has it's his signature is on the thing, right?
Yeah, it's on the little belt of the singlet.
Dang. That makes me sad, but it's also hilarious. His tweet was kind of funny.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, last here. Anthony Echemendia gets arrested. Obviously, this is more heavy than the other stuff, and I really didn't want to comment on it. However, there was, and I'm not going to get into the details. It's all pretty much documented. We could do a full breakdown like we did with Desanto, but there's a big difference between domestic violence and Desanto, kind of yelling. Yeah. But at Echemendia, he got arrested for. They got him for beating up his wife, I believe, something along those lines.
Like
some sort of dispute with her.
Yeah.
You guys can look it up, the warrants and stuff. They're pretty public by now. But the reason why we're commenting on it is because we did interview Echemendia, and the subject of that interview was him stopping a very similar issue that's going on with the gun and stuff, right? If you remember, the reason why he got into it with the dispute with the guy with the gun is because he apparently was beating up his girlfriend or wife or whoever, some female outside of Echemendia's apartment, and Echemendia stopped it.
Yeah.
That's what makes this thing freaking wild, because if you go back and watch that interview, which people are now digging back up and you're seeing the comments and stuff a little bit, not that much, but enough that I wanted to kind of talk about it. That's something that you can't predict the future on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And clearly Echemendia, Anthony is gonna serve some time probably. Lily, his wife, she was very public about her side of the story on the Wrestling Room. You guys can go check that out. We're not going to go read that whole thing. I think this is kind of something that goes without saying. We don't like stand with any of that stuff. Somebody DM me saying, "Are you going to have him back on the show?" Definitely not. Yeah. I responded, "LOL," like, "Are you serious?" type of deal. But yeah, you guys, I'm just commenting on this so you guys know that I see your comments saying, you know what you're saying, and that situation sucks. Probably done wrestling in college.
Yeah. Is that what you think so? There's not really any turning back after that?
I mean, the only way that he would be able to wrestle in college, in my opinion, first of all, I don't think he's been cut from Ohio State.
No, I don't think there's been I don't think there's been an official statement from the school, but this was kind of at least a week ago by now.
Right. So I think that maybe they're trying to wait for the facts to kind of come out. But, and I don't really want to get into it all because I don't know the facts and I don't want to say something.
There's really not much out there besides just
the police report.
Police report.
Right. And then Lily put out this post, but it was like.
I got it loaded, but I don't want to show it.
But, I mean, she didn't really say what happened, just kind of like.
It was more like she'll tell her side when she's ready, and then
right,
yeah, pretty much.
I just wanted to comment and tell you guys that we never in a million years thought something like that would happen. No, we're not going to have him back on to talk about it. That would be insane, and people are insane for even thinking that. But on a different note, I hope you guys like the show. We're like trying to get this live thing going so we can do more shows. If you guys are Patreon members, we're gonna try to do 2 Patreon episodes a week. So we're gonna clip some of this up, and then some of these segments are gonna be put on the Patreon. So if you guys like this type of content, if you guys like the stuff that we're covering, drop a comment, leave a like, and if you want to take it a step further, subscribe to our Patreon for $3.99. You get access to all the street leagues, past street leagues, all the ones in the future, which will be coming back really with some bangers. And then all these episodes, all these good content that we're going to have. We're going to do all kinds of stuff. So stay subscribed to the Patreon. I know it's been a little bit dull because we were, grinding with the street leagues, but now that that's over, we're going to be giving you guys an extra episode every freaking week. And then along with bonus clips and episodes and you name it. So anything you want to say, Ty, before we wrap this baby up?
Nope. Yeah, we've been quiet these past couple weeks, but we were kind of on like a 4 to 5 month marathon there. Towards the end, it was getting kind of hairy, and now we're collected and be ready. It's wrestling season.
Let's freaking go, baby. Subscribe.